what's going on, everyone? I have Nick Palladino here. I wanted him to share his experience when it comes down to buying his first home.
So actually, the first time I've ever viewed a property was with Ricky, and this was yesterday. I just want to say thank you for coming along with this because it made the process a lot better. It made me a lot more comfortable. I was obviously a little bit nervous going to check out properties for the first time. We checked out 2 yesterday. The first one, as Ricky would probably say as well, was a little bit different.
Yeah.
I've never viewed one before, and the very first house I ever viewed was the one that was kind of...
He's being really polite. It was like completely like the real estate agent, I don't think, communicated with the house owner. The individual who lived at the house only spoke Spanish and looked like he was like a little
out of it.
He was a little dazed. Luckily, I was able to actually communicate with him since I speak Spanish. And we got a little tour of the house. We weren't able to check out all the rooms because some of his kids were sleeping in some of the rooms. And it was just a very awkward vibe.
Yeah,
right?
just everything. I didn't even feel like it was even worth it at that point. I mean,
no, not at all.
So to kind of go in a little more depth on that, the agent, I don't think, to be honest with you, took me too seriously. That's the vibe that I kind of got. It was just the communication was lacking. He knew I was coming over I think I let him know about 3 weeks prior to this trip. Specifically, I came to visit Arizona to hang out with the guys and go check out properties. He never got back to me until yesterday, and I think he set up just some random properties. So the second one we went to was the total opposite of the first one. It was very, very well done. Everything was renovated. It was pretty much turnkey, move-in ready.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a better experience. It was staged. I kind of got an idea on what to look for. Ricky obviously walked me through a lot of the stuff. So I'm really glad that I had him there because I don't think the agent was necessarily doing his job. So I'm just grateful that obviously you were there.
When it came down to the kind of impression that I got from that real estate agent, Nick is not someone that's just randomly looking for houses. He got pre-qualified. He's been working for the past 2 years to make sure that he can build that 2-year work history. You got your credit in check. You have over $100,000 saved.
Yeah.
And you wanted to utilize about $60,000 worth of that. You told him kind of the price range of $300,000 and below, then that will allow you to work with about 20% down, as this would be put as an investment property. You spoke about your intention of you're from and living in California, Los Angeles, and you want a rental property to create some passive income. So I think in the sense of yes, he found some houses near a local university, so you can rent it out in that aspect. But just with those 2 houses that were presented, the impression that I got was those were polar opposites. One was completely not move-in ready, and first of all, it was not very professional on how that was handled. And the second one was a premium priced house. When it comes down to an investment property, especially with you already telling them that this is not something that you're going to move into.
Exactly.
It's something that you want to rent out, which means that it's for or as an investment. The house was, and he said, over $10,000 for the overall market price.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make sense to me. I was just okay, well, what are the comps in the area, price per square foot? And we could see that the house was fully staged, that there was a lot of money put into that. And I think that's great for someone that has the intention to move in and really, like you said, turnkey ready. But it was just so mind-boggling to me that it was almost a slap in the face to you that you flew all the way from Los Angeles with the intention to also check out these properties. And for someone to be so unprofessional, I think one of the biggest pieces of advice, even with the real estate agent that you met today, who'd you meet up with?
I met up with Lenny, and literally it was a night and day difference. And a point that I take from that is don't always go with your first option. There's always going to be better options. So weigh out your options. Obviously, in this case, I'm really glad that Ricky was able to set up a phone call with Lenny. He set up a phone call literally last night with Lenny, and this morning, Lenny and I actually checked out 3 properties in the same exact area that we checked out yesterday, but the houses were pretty much exactly what I was looking for. They needed a little bit of work done. Ricky hasn't mentioned, we haven't mentioned it yet, but I actually wanted to try to rent them out to students. So that was a big thing. I just wanted a house that was kind of tailored to having students live there. So this house that we specifically looked at today, and the one that I am actually trying to move forward with, is literally across the street from the campus. It's Grand Canyon University. It was pretty much all ready for students. You can pretty much move students in immediately. Him showing me houses that were specifically what I was looking for was just kind of like a big relief for me, and I'm really excited that I had the opportunity to meet with Lenny and potentially move forward in working with him.
And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like you can tell that the intention with working with Lenny is that he understands you as an investor,
Exactly.
what you want, what you're looking for, that you're not going to just buy any house because you can rent it out, but that you want to find a balance of something that's still a good deal so you have that equity, right?
Yeah.
That margin of profit in the house where if you wanted to, you could sell it
Yeah.
for a profit. But on top of that, as an investor and someone that wants rental income, that it also accommodates that, student type of housing. And being across the street from, Grand Canyon University, I think is a night and day difference. One of my biggest takeaways, at least from like watching this and seeing this happen, is that you want to make sure that your real estate agent is someone that's knowledgeable and that someone understands, what your intentions are when it comes down to buying this property. If you're buying this property, as a primary residence, you're going to live in it, and you still want to get a deal, then make sure that they know that, and that all the listings that they provide for you are of that, in a sense, criteria. It was just so mind-boggling. Again, the guy that we met up with, that he just was kind of just like, yeah, check out these two properties. Didn't really tell us much about it. I think Lenny does a great job where when he shows you a house, he already knows a series of other houses in that area. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he has experience. He's done his due diligence in making sure that he's doing his part as a real estate agent to make sure that he gets you the best deal possible and not just so focused on, let me sell you this.
Trying to sell you a house. Like he definitely, I can tell, was looking out for my best interest, which was pretty much the best feeling for me, was to know someone was going to be working for me, not just trying to sell a house real quick, get their commission. So
it's that reassurance that you guys both have. Yeah, I mean, you're motivated to buy a house, but that the intentions align with one another.
And that's the thing too. It's like this is just going to be like my first property, but this is something I want to do long term. So like knowing Lenny, that he has my back, like I want to continue working with him after this. If this all goes through, it's like I have, like Ricky said, I have $100,000 saved up comfortably to invest in. I didn't want to tie up all $100,000 in one property. What I wanted to do was go 20% down with about $40 to $50, even $60,000, and I can still have that $40,000-$50,000 cushion if I found another property later on. So it's I wanted to find someone that it's not just this one house, but someone I can do long-term business with. And I think Lenny's like the perfect person. After just meeting him, talking on the phone, I can tell that he has my best interest.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing about this. It's that finding your Lenny's in your area, right? People that have the best interests for you and that are motivated to not only just potentially get your business once, but someone that you can work with. I think after this experience that you had with Lenny, this is something that you said that you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life, and it's something that you want to build a team around, and it's great to have someone that can almost be viewed as a mentor.
Exactly.
And I know when it comes down to buying your first house, I putting myself back in that situation when it came down to making offers is like the easy part. But then once you understand that, like, wow, for the next 30 years I am like in on this loan, and to me hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in a house, it was just so mind-boggling. I was so young, I was just like, do I really want to get this tied up for the next 30 years? It's like I'm 20 years old, like 25, and for the next 30 years, it's like more than we've lived. Like I'm gonna have this loan, and it's a very overwhelming type of experience. But having people that are experienced and that you feel comfortable with working with, I think can make the overall experience that much more enjoyable, and overall, much more successful as well. So, all right, guys, thank you guys again so much for watching. Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you guys want to connect with Nick, I'm gonna put his first link in the description for his YouTube channel. Amazing content. He has over 67,000 subscribers when it comes down to fitness and nutrition. Really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope we earned your thumbs up, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.
See you guys.